When someone experiences hearing loss, obviously that has a significant impact on their lives.
Yeah, from important conversations to the television performances and more, when you cannot hear what's going on, you miss a lot. Thankfully, hearing aids can be a huge help. Ben Norris owns several Miracle Ear locations and audio prosthologist.
What is that?
I mean, yeah, he knows what we're talking about here. But thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate
thanks for
it.
having me.
Let's talk a little bit about the impact that someone has when they're dealing with hearing loss.
Yeah, I mean, helping someone with their hearing is all about giving them their freedom and independence back. I mean, when you think about the impact it has, whether it's a young child or even an older family member, the reality is the second you put that hearing aid in and allow them to experience what's happening again in their world, night and day difference. It's kind of like putting on glasses for the first time and you haven't seen it in a while. Only here it's speech clarity.
Well, sure, yeah, it's one of your 5 senses, right? And to be without that has got to be pretty limiting. You guys have been doing this for a while. You know what you're doing, decades.
Yeah.
How long have you been in business?
Miracle Ear itself has been in business since 1948, so we've been around 75 years as a brand.
Yeah.
So,
and you own almost a couple of dozen stores here in the state.
Yes.
So what is your favorite part about what you do every day? I'm assuming what you just talked about.
yeah, I mean, giving people their freedom and independence back is really the biggest thing. The best story I can give you, and my favorite story, is a young gal that came in. She was 18 years old, and she had been wearing hearing aids for a while due to a tumor. And the tumor had severed her auditory nerves when they did the surgery to take it out. And so as a result, she wasn't hearing very well. When she went into the classroom, you know, she was having some behavioral issues and challenges and learning issues as well. And the challenge with that was they didn't pick up on it right away. She wore hearing aids, but they didn't realize they weren't working correctly. Her dad asked me to evaluate her. When I did that, I found out real quickly in taking some measurements, yeah, the hearing aids were making noise. Yes, they were working from a standpoint of they were producing sound, but when I measured it, she was 25 to 30 decibels off her prescription target where she needed to be. And when we fit her with new hearing instruments, I can tell you she went from a 2nd grade reading level to a 6th grade reading level in a matter of 6 weeks. Those behavioral challenges went away. She got a job all of a sudden. And next thing you know, she had a boyfriend as well. Life-changing.
Yeah,
I mean, those are the fun stories to be a part of.
That's so fantastic. And so talk about, you have obviously so much history with this company. Talk about what makes Miracle Ear different, because people can go out anywhere and you can go to Costco and get a hearing aid. So talk about, what you're doing.
You know, there's a lot of good hearing providers out there in the marketplace, but one of the things that I hear from our patients when they come in is they go, wow, you're a lot more thorough. I've never had a hearing test like this. Or, they just, man, I've never had someone spend this kind of time and educate me about what's going on with their hearing. And I can tell you that when anybody can do a hearing test, anybody can measure sound, anyone can hit the program button on a hearing aid, there's algorithms that manufacturers use to fit those hearing aids. I believe what I'm hearing from our patients when they say, wow, that's a lot more thorough, what we do is we utilize a technique called the real ear measurement, where we're measuring sound pressure level at the eardrum. And the reason that's different, we're not just relying on the algorithm. That assumes everyone's ear is the same. And like PSI in a tire is the best example I can give you. You measure PSI in a tire, you don't want to overinflate it, you don't want to underinflate it. With a hearing aid, you don't want to overamplify, you don't want to underamplify. And the most common thing I see that comes into our office when I look at some of these over-the-counter products that are out in the marketplace today, or even a competitive product that walks in, is I measure the output of the hearing aid. And sometimes we're looking at the volume and the low frequencies being way too loud. It can damage the hearing. The other thing it can do when you think of background noise is a lot of low frequency noise. When that's out of balance, what happens when it's out of balance is it drowns out the clarity on the other end because they're not getting enough high frequency.
It's that counterproductive.
It is counterproductive.
It feels like. And this isn't something that you just set and forget either. I mean, this is like an eye test. It changes over time, so you need to continually have that attention to detail and that thoroughness.
Yeah, hearing loss is something that's progressive in nature and permanent in nature. So your prescription needs over time will change. And so we do an annual hearing evaluation every year with our patients, and not to mention other checkups throughout the year to make sure we keep wax and other things out of the hearing instrument. But every time we see them, we're actually measuring to verify that the hearing aid is doing exactly what it should, so they get optimal performance. You can have a great hearing aid, but if it's not delivering sound to your prescription target, it's not going to sound the way it needs to. And so that needs to be measured. And where we're going to differ is there's a lot of providers out there unfortunately, they're not taking that extra step
Right.
to measure that, and that's the key to our success.
Wow. Yeah, it's such an impact. Not only, the first, if you follow somebody along, and that's really the most important because you're going to keep that hearing. Is there anything else you want people to know about what you do and why you do it so well?
I can say that I have a lot of passionate providers and a solid team, and they're all trained to utilize this software. And, we offer a free hearing test in our clinic, so it costs you nothing to come in and find out what's going on with your hearing. And in the case that you're concerned about cost, we offer payment plan programs. We also accept different insurances. And in the case that cost is truly an issue, we have the Miracle Foundation. And the Miracle Foundation is incredible. It allows us to give the gift of sound to those who otherwise couldn't afford it. So we have options available to really help.
Not to mention, they're so tiny now. I mean, I'm still remembering
yeah,
how
the
big they
technology
were.
is so much different. Yeah.
They're just almost imperceptible
Yeah.
in their size. It's pretty neat. Thank you so much for all the great information this morning.
Yes,
About
absolutely.
Miracle Ear. You got service locations all over the place. Grand Rapids, Granville, Hastings, Rockford. Look at the list on there. It's not too hard to find a Miracle Ear near you. You can learn more by visiting miracle-ear.com, or I love this phone number.
Right?
1-877-EARWAX-9. You won't forget that one.